This is Lesson 1.2.2, the unique need for medical technology assessment. In the previous lesson, we discussed the potential users or stakeholders for a medical technology assessment. In this lesson, we'll discuss why medical technology assessment is necessary. So you may be asking, why not just take a general marketing or strategy course? Isn't technology assessment just another application of a new product pricing exercise? Can't I just set up a focus group, talk to patients, determine what they're willing to pay, and set a price? Or alternatively, you may be wondering, aren't there people that I can just hire to do this stuff? Well, the answer to the first question is no. In the medical technology industry, it's not just another application of pricing a product. And a focus group is one way of collecting data, or there may be other ways to assess willingness to pay, but it's important to understand the context of prices and selling medical technology before any type of technology assessment can be done. Additionally, there are people that you can hire to do this stuff, but it depends who you hire, and it's important to know what to expect from them and what you're getting for what you pay for. Hopefully this class will help answer all of those questions. So the reason that you can't just hire somebody to do this without knowing anything about what they're going to do, and it's not as simple as just pricing a product and selling it on the market, is that medical technology, because of the complex context in which there's government regulation and numerous private industry stakeholders involved, requires an interdisciplinary approach. There's elements of economics, law, epidemiology, statistics, knowledge of pharmacology or biologic responses, medicine, nursing, and allied health professionals, both in the type of care they give and how their industries or professions are regulated, biology, physics or chemistry, computer science and engineering, management and finance, and risk and insurance theory. Because of all of these various factors involved, and many of them applying to a single technology assessment depending on what the product is, a technology assessment can be a complex but important element of bringing any new product to market, continuing to market or sell the product, and understanding how patients and allied health professionals, doctors, or any other health profession uses the product, which can then inform what other types of improvements or additional products need to be developed. So we can briefly summarize a technology evaluation, and then throughout the course discuss all of these elements in more detail. It's important to know what the technology or compound is and how it works. So if it's a drug, is it a pill or a tablet? How many times is it taken? And who is eligible to take it? So is it for the entire population with a condition or a very specific population? It's also important to identify any opportunities for obtaining economic data from a clinical trial. So there's many clinical trials that might be conducted when first testing and researching the drug, but if possible to collect any type of financial or economic data, it's better to collect it during the clinical trial because it's very unlikely there's a chance to go back and collect it later in the trial setting. Related to this, you need to know when you need primary data, as in from a clinical trial, and when secondary data would be appropriate. If you can use secondary data, you need to know how to use secondary data in order to approximate the demand based on the disease prevalence, and if you can't do that, use possible substitute and complement products to estimate the demand for something that doesn't currently exist, but something that is in the data can be used to approximate how the new product will behave when brought to market. After this, you still need to obtain input prices and production process in order to determine costs or sources of costs, and then estimate costs. If possible, if any economic data was collected from the clinical trial, it would come into play at this point. Once you have an estimate of cost and you know an approximate use, you can also estimate outcomes and effectiveness. So now that we have the total cost and total effectiveness for the population of interest, we can build an economic model either for publication or for internal decisions that determines how cost effective or some similar measure a new technology is. And once we have the results of that model, we can provide it to the key stakeholders and start over with the next technology.